I'm not a subject matter expert in most things. I'm just exercising critical thinking. It's not like a superpower. It's just something that I try to instill in other people as well with regular frequency. The problem here is, you know who else is not a subject matter expert? The random fucking cop that says, oh, I saw a drone and I got fearful. But the difference is they treat him as though he is a subject matter expert in this situation. Do you understand? He has institutional authority. So you are predisposed to believing him. We forget that our institutions across the board are not infallible. Our institutions across the board are run by dumbasses. Look at the Bellevue mayor. And then you have the other problem. You have the problem on the other side. People that don't believe experts anyway. People that don't believe official organs of authority, official organs of communication. They don't believe it and immediately assume the contrarian position. If the government is saying this, it must be fake. And then you have people who think, oh, this is a distraction. This is a distraction for this and that. This is a distraction away from Gaza. It's a distraction, a deliberately crafted conspiracy to make people forget about Luigi Mangione or some shit. And no, I don't think it's that, especially because Americans are so stupid. And the way that the media cycle works, especially with TikTok and especially with social media now, is that there's already a finite amount of time that people can pay attention to a single news story anyway. They don't need to do anything to move on to the next thing. Sometimes things just get together, and our pattern recognition focused minds end up thinking that there is this broad, grand conspiracy. There must be some reason for why it's happening, when it just happens to be a perfect scenario. And I'll give you the best example, going back to the United Healthcare CEO killer, Luigi Mangione. 286. Okay, you're right. Alleged. Moran said alleged. Alleged CEO killer. 286. The Bible verse for 286. The Pokemon that he had on his account was a 286 Pokemon. He was following 286 people. What does this mean? It must be a real conspiracy. The problem is, like, what you're doing is assigning value to a number and hyper-focusing on that number. And you're basically, I mean, this is like early signs of schizophrenia, for the record. Like, this kind of numerical pattern recognition is yeah, Murat said, or becoming a Swiftie. Altoona is 286 miles from Midtown Manhattan. The denial code for insurance is 286. And sometimes it's just, you know, it just happened to be like that, okay? Oh, this is the one, yeah. Ensure. You're believing a guy who wrote Ensure denial code. A German guy. He's posted 286 times, bro! Altoona is 286 miles away from Midtown Manhattan. What does this mean? Yeah, look, his cousin is following 286 people. If you don't see the connection, you are the insane one here. Yes, you're right. I am insane for not thinking that there's a pattern here. Everybody wants to be in on a secret that nobody else has been able to figure out. Everybody also wants to have a neat little narrative that is perfectly wrapped with a bow, that explains everything. Everyone wants to believe that there is like some grand conspiracy behind everything that's going on. And I think sometimes it makes people lose sight of like very simple pattern recognition that is unfolding right in front of their eyes. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness. That's the best part. With the Bible, hit him with the Bible quote. Yeah, you lose sight of the forest because you're hyper-focused on the trees, dude. What is it? Bible verse 286. That's the first thing that comes up on Google as well, but it's not. Blessed you shall be when you come out. When you go out, the Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before they face. No, this is not the one. You wanted in on the secret about the Mexican wood elves? Yeah, I didn't believe that duendes are real, dude. What are you talking about? Proverbs 286. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than that he is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than he who is crooked, though he be rich. I'm scared. Not because we arrived at this like secret conspiracy. I'm scared that so many people are just like genuinely looking at all this stuff and breaking their brains. They're looking too hard. Here, this is a great Nick Mullen bit about conspiracies. Okay, it's the best. It's so good.
It's funny. I think about it. That's probably where my conspiratorial thinking started. Was when I was a young boy at the public pool. Because you remember that? You remember going to the pool? There would always be like a teacher's pet kid that was like, you know, if you pee in the pool, there's a chemical in the water that turns your pee red, and the lifeguard will see it and they'll send you to jail, right? And then you're like, oh my God, I don't want to go to jail. I'm 6. I can't. I'll be raped. I can't be a 6-year-old in jail.
So you think there's nothing to this? I don't know. On the spectrum, too many coincidences for my taste. There is the answer. I think I get it now. There is no coincidence whatsoever. There we go. We lost another one. We lost another one. Even in the process of me dismissing these idiotic claims, we lost another one. What do you think is more likely? Luigi Mangione is 26 years old. What happens when you're 26? You lose your parents' health care. Dude has a back surgery. It fucks his life up. He posts on Reddit all the goddamn time. He off to Japan for a couple months. His friends don't know where the fuck he is, and he's actively radicalized by the recovery process. And in that process, he develops an understandable resentment that seemingly virtually every single American that is not like Jake Tapper or a CNN commentator understood immediately, only seconds after it took place. All people needed to know was the name of the victim or the profession of the victim. They knew that he was a CEO of a healthcare company, and everyone was like, oh, I know what happened here.
I won't stand a chance. I don't know. Right, so you don't pee in the pool, right? And then everybody's getting UTIs because of this one liar, this piece of shit liar. And then halfway through the summer, there's like one brave summer day where you're like, okay, it, I'm just going for it, right? And then you look down and it's fine, and you're like, dude, the government, man. Yeah. 9/11 was an inside job. Now I know the truth. I'll march right up to Donald Rumsfeld and piss my pants in his face. I don't care. I got What happened to the 9/11 guys? I guess they were just proven right. That's a Now it's just common knowledge. You just go up to somebody's grandma, you're like, you know George Bush is a lizard? And they're like, yes, I know. They're all lizards, and they did 9/11. I'm fully aware, thank you. The 9/11 conspiracy guys, they had a weird trajectory, right? Because they kind of like, they really just like fell off hard and fast. Yeah, they made these great documentaries, and then 3 years after that, a 9/11 conspiracy theorist who was just the dumbest guy you know, folding up a $20 bill, trying to show you, trying to show you an optical illusion. Do you know any guys like that? I had a friend that would do that. He'd be like, dude, you gotta see this. This is gonna blow your mind.
Dude, I think like Zeitgeist specifically was like loose change in Zeitgeist for my like prepubescent mind was like lasers. It was so instructive in my development. If you were to ask me a single thing from any of those documentaries, I can't remember a goddamn thing. But at the time, it was like, the torrented Zeitgeist rip. I think Zeitgeist wasn't as crazy as like loose change. I think was Zeitgeist the one that was like I can't remember what it was. One of them wasn't that bad. One of them was like low key not that bad. It was like there's varying degrees of like psychotic shit. And I think if I'm not mistaken, Zeitgeist was the one that was like the normal one that was like we should look into the Saudis. Yeah, and it's weird that that these guys were basically one of them was anti-Semitic, the other one wasn't. That's how I remember it, and I can't remember if Zeitgeist was the one that was. I mean, they both devolve into batshit crazy conspiratorial thinking. There's no way you can have just like any normal 9/11 documentary. Okay, I guess unless it's like what's it called? The book, the one that isn't a conspiracy. It was the Burning Tower. I think it was. Yeah, the Looming Tower. The Looming Tower. Al Qaeda on the road to 9/11.
He spends all his time folding up a $20 bill. He shows it to me. He's like, "Doesn't it look like the tower's on fire?" It's like, no, it looks like your parents should switch to direct deposit. I don't know why they're giving you cash to do this with. But that was always so funny to me because it's like, what do you think happened, right? Like the CIA was like, okay, plan's ready to go, ready to blow up the World Trade Center. There's only one step left. The clues. Yep. Yeah, it's clue time. It's time to get the clues out there, so we're going to have the Treasury team up with Mad Magazine to create a fold-in on the money.
He's such a boomer for making a Mad Magazine reference, but I mean, yes, this is a fantastic joke.
Tip off this unemployed man. He's going around, he's like, look, it's the Illuminati. And you're like, actually, it's origami. It's
the folding the $20 9/11 tower thing is a boomer reference. I know. Charlie talked about how he watched Zeitgeist when he was 14 and he thought it was so cool. He turned into a presentation for his 9th grade class. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad to have a little bit of conspiratorial thinking. It's just that you can't just like be at the mercy of that. If that is something that sparks a curiosity, a fascination in your mind, like a little bit of that is healthy where you're like, let me investigate this stuff further. But if you don't have any critical thinking associated with it, you can find yourself in the whims of like, the Jews did it so quickly. You know what I mean? Dipping your toes in those waters, at least for me, was helpful in the way that I viewed the world. It was a healthy curiosity and a healthy skepticism. But the issue is people mistake that healthy curiosity with unhealthy.
At this moment.
What is this? This was the Zoomer Zeitgeist. The lie we live. What is this? It received over 26 million views. However, a music company put a copyright claim. What is this? What the is this about? I've never even encountered this before. Of course, Zeitgeist was like 8 hours long, 3 different documentaries, but then for the Zoomers, it has to be an 8-minute YouTube video. Great. And for Generation Alpha, it's going to be a TikTok. For the generation that comes after Gen Alpha, it's just going to be an AI summary. What is this about? Zeitgeist 2 and 3 are actually legit. The second one talks about the monetary system, and the third one introduces me to systemic solutions for systemic problems and how structural violence is prevalent. It had Robert Sapolsky and Gabor Mate the GOAT. What's really sad about a lot of these conspiracies is that, like, there is one conspiracy, okay? And I don't mean like a conspiracy theory. I mean like people conspiring. It's just capitalism. And because of an endless amount of Red Scare propaganda, these people will look at all of this stuff and get so fucking close to just being like, yeah, the system is basically designed to keep you servile, docile, work till the day you fucking die. And all of the natural resources that are bountiful and plenty are directly shut off from you. But instead of recognizing that it's just capitalism, they'll turn around and be like, and the solution is drinking raw milk and buying Iraqi dinar. Like, well, what do you... How?